Today's story is The Snow Queen, and for the rest of this week and next week we're going to be doing some activities based on this lovely winter story. So this is a traditional story. It was originally written by Hans Christian Andersen, who wrote lots of fairy stories including The Little Mermaid, and this version is retold by somebody called Lesley, and it's got beautiful illustrations by Alan Marks. Let's start the story. Long, long ago, and even further away, there lived two friends, Gerda and Kay. In all the world, no two friends were as close. One crisp winter's day, Kay was crunching through the snow when he saw a twinkling snowflake. It grew larger and larger until suddenly it turned into a woman dressed in a sparkling white cloak. The next second, she was gone. The following afternoon, Kay was with Gerda when, ow! A sharp speck of ice flew into his eye. And from that moment, everything changed. Kay began to tease Gerda and ripped up her precious flowers. Then he made fun of people in the street. As each day passed, he grew more and more horrible. "Whatever's happening to Kay?" Gerda asked her grandmother. Gerda's grandmother shook her head sadly and sighed. "I think he's been enchanted by the Snow Queen," she said. Snow Queen has put a magic spell on him. After a while, Kay ignored Gerda altogether. He only wanted to play outside in the snow. His cheeks glowed and his eyes shone, and he never seemed to notice how cold it was. On the coldest day of winter, the Snow Queen came for Kay. There's Kay on his sledge. In a daze, he caught hold of her sleigh. She commanded her snow-white horse in a voice spikier than icicles, "Home!" And they flew from the market square with Kay clinging on behind. The Snow Queen took Kay far, far away to her palace of ice in the frozen north. Kay grew colder and colder and colder, so cold he might have been carved from ice himself. Week after week, he sat as still as a snowman, trapped in a room made of blocks of ice. Soon he completely forgot Gerda and everything in his old life. But Gerda didn't forget Kay. As the flowers started to bloom, she set off to look for him, so the spring has started to arrive. First, she followed the winding river. When the river ran out, she left her boat and walked. She walked for days and days, until, lost and alone in the forest, she finally stopped. A glossy black crow hopped up to her. "Caw!" he croaked. "What's wrong?" "I'm looking for my friend," she said. "The Snow Queen stole him." "A queen?" croaked the crow. "Perhaps she has taken him to the palace by the lake. Quack! I'll show you." He led Gerda through the sleeping halls of the castle where royal dreams glided by. "Try the robber's castle," they whispered. "Take the golden coach outside." The robber's castle stood high on a hill, stark against the sky. Following a moonlight path, the golden coach rattled its way to the top. Inside the castle, Gerda told her story again. "Ah, the Snow Queen lives in the frozen north," said the robber girl. "My reindeer can take you." The robber girl watched them go and waved until Gerda and her reindeer were out of sight. They had a long, hard journey ahead. The air turned cold and stung Gerda's face like hail. Her face went numb, but they kept going. At last, towering in the distance, she saw the Snow Queen's glittering palace of ice. In a whirl of snowflakes, the Queen's guards sprang at Gerda. Oh my goodness. As Gerda cried out, her breath formed into misty angels. Silently they swooped down and attacked the palace guards. Gerda ran into the palace, calling for Kay. "Kay, Kay!" She put her hand over his frozen heart and it began to thaw, and a warm tear melted the speck of ice in his eye, and it trickled down his cheek. "Gerda," he whispered. Kay jumped up, sending blocks of ice flying. The Snow Queen could only watch in icy fury as Gerda and Kay fled, leaving her chilly palace forever. Back at home, Gerda's grandmother was overjoyed to see them. "I can't believe you escaped the Snow Queen," she cried over and over again. And she hugged them both tightly, as if she'd never ever let them go. I like a happy ending. So, remember that this story, we're going to do some activities based on it. And if you want, as an option today, you could draw your favourite part.